President Donald Trump continues to be under the spotlight after the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. In a speaking tour in cities across the U.S. and Canada, Hillary Clinton said that President Trump is, quote, part of the cover-up as to what happened. She went on to say that the president and those closest to him have their own personal interests with the Saudis. Trump has indicated that the U.S. will remain allies with Saudi Arabia and voiced the importance of U.S.-Saudi relations. Here with me now are attorney founder at Babes in Workplace, Reese Everson, and legal advisor for the Hispanic Leadership Council, Gerard Whitstead. Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
So, Gerard, I want to start with Hillary Clinton's comments about President Trump covering up the Khashoggi incident. What do you make of her comments about the president?
I think they're ridiculous, okay? There's been no cover-up. The administration has been very, very honest as to what happened. We know that the Crown Prince had something to do with the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, but what we don't know is if there's been a direct correlation between the Crown Prince and that murder.
Right, and it's still, I mean, something that we may not even know. Reese, I want to mention, back in 2016, Jamal Khashoggi gave an interview to Al Jazeera in defense of Saudi's capital punishment.
Mm-hmm. Execution is an execution. To hang people from a crane or to behead them with a sword, it is execution. It is brutal. But what we are doing in Saudi Arabia is we are doing that through judiciary, and we are only targeting terrorists or dissidents who are calling for violence.
Reese, do you find his comments a little ironic?
Absolutely. But I want to go back to Gerard's point earlier. The reason why we don't know whether or not the prince actually had something to do, the Crown Prince actually had something to do with it, is because the CIA director was not present at this hearing. And so it was strange and random for the White House to say that she could not attend. Director Haskell was absolutely necessary for this particular meeting, and to not send her leads us to believe that there was definitely information that, you know, the president, the White House did not want released. To see Mr. Khashoggi speak about how this is, you know, something that goes through a judiciary process, and these killings are a part of their way of life and how they handle things, and to see that, you know, he lived by the sword and absolutely died by the sword, it's fascinating and very ironic. It points to the fact that living in this type of society, you know, sometimes you're on the right side of the team, and then, you know, things can change and there's a new prince and suddenly you find yourself on the outs. And it seems that this is what happened with Mr. Khashoggi, and it's fascinating.
It really is to see, like you said, switching sides when you're in and then out. Now, Gerard, I want to talk a little bit about the G20 summit that's starting on Friday. Now, the Crown Prince bin Salman is expected to attend. This is his first international trip since the murder of Khashoggi. Now, could we see him lobbying for strengthening some U.S. relationship?
Well, one of the things that the United States has to be concerned about with the Crown Prince attending the G20 is that he has a meeting set up with Putin. And this is a very, very delicate situation right now in Saudi Arabia. And what I feel is that the president is trying to walk a very thin line here right now, because what we do not want is for Saudi Arabia to become an ally with Russia. Russia and Iran are currently teamed together, and certainly the United States has a relationship with the Saudis. We are their allies of sorts, if you will. That would be catastrophic to the United States' interests and to the Arabian Peninsula.
Well, and that's why we hear President Donald Trump pushing so much, and with all this pressure from U.S. Congress to act on it, but he's sticking to the relationship and the importance of the U.S.-Saudi relations. Now, Reese, Trump has this crucial meeting with leaders of China and Russia, possibly Saudi Arabia. Is there any outcome that you think you'd be pleased with?
At the end of the day, we have to stand on the principles of who we say we are. And if we say we're a country that believes in democracy, if we say we're a country that's anti-terrorism, then to align ourselves with Saudi Arabia as they continue to make decisions that are not, humanitarian and attacking Yemen and things of that nature, we simply just can't afford to do it. We do have interests that are economic, and I understand that for our national interest. Hopefully, we're not basing this on our personal economic interests, meaning President Trump's interest in Saudi Arabia and things of that nature. Hopefully, it's strictly about the national interest of the country, but we have to stand on what's an American principle first. And first and foremost, we are anti-terrorism, and we cannot allow one country to go in and invade Yemen and be terroristic towards them and then say we're standing with them in the war against terror. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, there's a lot at stake, and we'll see what unfolds from the G20 summit and the meetings that President Trump might have or not have with the world leaders. Thank you so much, Reese and Gerard.
Thank you.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.